morning, good afternoon, good evening, in whichever part of the world that you are, and welcome to Learnamytes, where learning is for all, and all that we do is for learning. In the last episode, with our SME, subject matter expert, Nandkkishore Sharrma, that's NK, we got a new perspective about HR, which is human relations, not just human resource. We also had some of the things which are used in corporates, which can be followed in our day-to-day life. Example, visual planning, and yes, of course, we just started with our conversation on why our guest NK felt like writing a book. Let's continue with our rendezvous this week as well, in this episode as well, and let's talk about how does one go about writing a book. And I'm sure we will learn quite a few tips or maybe tricks as well from NK. But before that, please like and share this video as much as you can, and do subscribe the Learnamytes channel. There's a bell icon which you can also press so that you get our weekly notifications. So let's begin.
Thank you, Girish. Thank you very much.
So hi NK,
Hello, Girish.
welcome back once again, and thank you so much for taking us through this wonderful journey of yours, if I may say so. Of course, it is very difficult to bring down 3 decades of experience, but I'm sure that from the comments which I have read from the first episode, I'm sure uh, our viewers have appreciated that. So to continue our chat once again, I think I am curious to know that why did you feel like writing a book? If you can take us through that one more time. And you said you have one book which has been published, and there are two more which are in pipeline. So if you can talk about the book which is published, and what are the books which are in pipeline, and the reasons why you felt like becoming a writer.
Sure, Girish. So I will answer the last question first.
Sure.
Why I thought of writing a book?
Mhm.
The reason was, to share my experience, whatever I could observe throughout my career. Especially, the first book relates to, more of team leaders, supervisors.
Yeah.
It's quite relatable.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a self-help book for people who are wanting to get into leadership role
Yeah.
at that level.
Mhm.
So I saw many issues going on that level, especially if we talk of HR and IR functions,
IR is industrial relations. Okay.
So what I could observe was that link of team leaders and supervisors most of the times was the weakest link.
Okay.
I mean, talking about manufacturing setup.
Okay.
It could be in service industry also,
Hmm.
but
Like IT or hospitality.
not exactly IT,
Mhm.
but like yeah, hospitality is one of it.
Okay.
ITES,
IT enabled services.
Yes.
That's BPOs. Basically.
BPOs,
Mhm.
right? So I could relate whatever I could wanted to tell those guys, people trying to get into those roles and people who are already into those roles, supervisors and team leaders. So they can, there are some learnings, takeaways in my first book for them.
Okay.
So that was the reason I wanted to give back to the society what I have learned
Okay.
throughout my career.
Wonderful.
And what else could be a better thing than writing it and giving it back.
So, typically, how much time did it take to finish this book? I know, ideas can come at any time of the day. So, did you have a particular style, or how did you go about? If you can take us through that.
Yes, I had a bit systematic approach for this
Mm-hmm.
after I started writing.
Okay.
My publications, the publisher also helped me. They also guided me
Okay.
how to make it more effective
Uh-huh.
and more focused.
Yeah.
Like rightly what you said, thoughts used to come to me any moment of time. I'm going to bed and suddenly something comes to
Something
my mind.
comes.
Then what do I do?
Mhm.
So I had planned it out. So I used to get up
Early morning.
early morning, and that is the best time when you are focused. You don't have many thoughts coming to you, so you can think over on your topic, and it's like very fresh. So you can write at least 2-3 pages every day.
Okay.
uh, People spend more time too. I mean, people who can be more focused and who can spare more time throughout the day can make it faster. But for
For
a
you,
person,
considering your other commitments or engagements, this was the appropriate time which you thought.
right,
Okay.
an hour or two every
Okay.
day.
Mhm.
But it gets prolonged, of course, because whatever you write, you again revisit it, and then you find improvements, you find gaps, you find, array, I should have maybe written like this. So you tend to rework every now and, because it's like you are on your own, you are not satisfied.
Yeah.
So it should be better. It's like continuous improvement. So that
Correct.
takes a bit more time.
Okay. And finally, NK, I mean, why I'm asking this question is because uh, I also feel that quite a few of our viewers, I mean, they would have plans to write books. So, I'm sure in a way you're giving us some tips, some practical tips on how to go about writing a book. So, one is you spoke about waking up early, the other is thoughts can flow at any time. Any other thing which you feel that someone who aspires to become a writer in your future can follow or seek your this tip or can be helpful to him or her?
Yeah. See, what I did was I tried to be very simple.
Okay.
So the language of my book is a very common language.
Okay.
So I avoided use of dictionary. I mean, for me, I don't know. I had been avoiding dictionaries even when I read book,
Yeah.
and I'm forced to use a dictionary.
Mm.
I think, like you see, it's a diversion. So when I am focused on certain thing, and then I get another book, dictionary, and go through finding, go through pages, finding the meaning, and then again come back to this book
Yeah.
and try to relate it. I try to avoid that.
Okay.
So it's a very normal English.
Yeah.
Uh,
Simple and lucid language, as we
yes.
say.
So people can easily understand.
Sure.
जो हिंदी में बोलते हैं ना, बोलचाल की भाषा,
हाँ.
तो that English is like that.
बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल.
So the way we speak.
We normally converse in
Yeah.
our day-to-day life.
Yeah.
Okay.
So people can start that way. If they
Okay.
have some ideas, some thoughts, they can do some research, find out, collect more information on the related topic they are interested in, and then they can start writing in their own language, whatever it could be.
No problem.
Yeah.
I mean, then later on one can look at how does one edit. It can be done at a later stage.
Yes.
But basically, you mean to say that pick up the pen and start writing,
Right.
or
At
pick
least
up your
start
laptop
writing.
and start typing,
Yeah.
if I may say so, in today's context.
Yes, yes.
Wonderful. Well, NK, these were, I think, amazing tips on how to go about writing a book. Simple tips, small tips, and again, we're going to share his email, so maybe our viewers might have some more questions. But now, I think it's the time to talk about the book. That what is the title of this book? What is this book called about? Called, and of course, I'm sure that people from the HR fraternity, those who are working in corporates or those who are working in business or in service, they will benefit. But again, the same question, like the previous episode, that how does the Learnamytes viewers who are from all walks of life, what do they get out of this book, and how do you relate all this? So, if you can take us through, do a quick walkthrough of what the book is all about.
Yes, sure. Can
Yeah.
I hold my book?
Yeah, please.
Yes.
Why
So
not?
people can also see. The title of my book is 6-Step Formula to Fast Track Your Growth and Be a Successful Team Leader. So, like the title speaks, it's of course a formula in the sense it's like I put some
Tangible steps.
yes, how to go about to be successful, because people keep on working. What I saw and experienced, supervisors, team leaders, they have lots of pressure. They are sandwiched between the management and the say workers or his team members, and they find it so difficult balancing things. You see, basically relations, like what we spoke in the previous episode also. So maintaining the relations with the management and maintaining the relations with the team members or workers, and balancing, being a bridge between these two. So this book talks about those skills, how to develop, and what are the typical things which, if one can observe and one can, you see, develop, they can be climbing the ladder
Yeah.
of success faster, a bit faster than others.
So that's why you call it as I can see, fast track. The word fast track your growth.
Right.
That becomes more pertinent, I would
Yes.
say. Okay. Um, so this is, like I said, fine for all those people who are working. But what about the other viewers or those who are watching this video? What do they get out of this book?
Okay. You see, I read a phrase yesterday. I don't remember the author, but he said, if we generally think we are not leaders. I mean, for a normal person, for us, a leader is someone who is into a leadership role, or political leader, or someone like this.
Yeah.
But that author says, suppose you or me, or
Yeah.
for in that sector, any common person.
Yeah. Let's say a
If-
student.
Yeah, for a student,
Mhm.
if he had been able to change or influence someone, if he had been able to bring a change into someone's life,
Yeah.
he is a leader. Because who is a leader? Who can guide,
Yeah.
who can protect, who can take care, who
Mhm.
can communicate
Yeah.
better. So these are some typical qualities
Yeah.
which a normal person has.
Mhm.
If even if you try to relate it to a homemaker, say a mother, a wife, a sister, you see, they are such a good counselors.
Mhm.
They are a good communicator.
Yeah.
They can read your face, and they will just come, "Arey, kya problem hua bhai?" I mean, your sister, mother, whoever. So they can immediately sense what is going wrong.
Perfect.
So this is a quality of a leader.
Mhm.
And communication, how to dig it out,
Certainly.
how to support the person, whether it's an employee or a family member.
Perfect.
So that is how it relates, or there are the takeaways, simple things, but very commonly used by you see, homemaker also, and whereas a worker also in an industry.
Okay. So you meant to say that when anyone who's now I'm saying that anyone who picks up this book, 6-step formula to fast track your growth, uh, once they start reading it, they have those takeaways which they can start applying either at their workplace or possibly in their personal lives as
Personal
well.
lives too.
And they get something out of this.
Exactly.
And these are simple steps because
Very
I know
simple.
since I've worked with you since so many years, I'm aware that you have a very simple bent of mind. I mean, to keep things simple. I mean, that's what you
Yes.
also said in the previous episode.
Yes.
Okay. NK, I have also read the book, and it was wonderful to see that the foreword of this book was written by one of the leading industrialists in the city of Pune, Mrs. Supriya Badve, who is the director of the Badve Group. So it was wonderful reading her foreword as well, where she has also written about how practically all these things need to be done. So I think uh, there it goes, right? I mean, that's what is the importance of this book, if one has to look at.
Right, because I mean, you see, in nutshell, this is an abstract of my experience.
Okay, of those 30 plus years.
Right.
Mm.
So it's not just theoretical, because you see, if we start talking of leadership, there will be n numbers of
Thousands
things.
of books,
Yes.
articles, videos.
N number of qualities. Someone
Perfect.
will talk of X, Y, Z, lots of things.
Yeah.
But I've tried to be more practical
Mhm.
and reasonable.
And that too in the Indian context as well.
Yes.
As I felt after reading the book.
Right.
Okay. So NK, maybe just one question before we conclude this is that I have been greatly influenced by many books. There are many books like on Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, and of course quite a few Marathi books by the great Pula Deshpande. But there's one book which made me leave my job and get into consulting and start my own training organization, Nalanda Business Associates. That book, we had also done a review about that book called Simply Fly by Captain J.R. Gopinath, and it influenced me to become an entrepreneur. So the same thing. Uh, what is? I mean, there could be many, but what is that one book which really has influenced you or has helped you during the course of your journey?
Okay. Uh, that author or that book has actually nothing to do with my
Professional
profession or my
background.
career, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's Premchand
Mm-hmm.
and Godan is the book.
Godan.
Godan,
Oh, wonderful. Munshi Premchand.
Munshi Premchand.
Mm-hmm.
I read it when I was probably in 6th or 7th,
Yeah.
and I still, you see, I cannot forget it,
Mm-hmm.
and I will never forget it.
Uh-huh.
The language he has used,
Okay.
and same, I mean, it's, you see, it's not a kind of created story. Premchand was something which was more related to the actual life.
True.
His writings are direct from this society, his
Yeah.
own experience, his own, you see, whatever he has seen in the society.
Sure.
So, very true, very relatable, and you see, emotional.
Mm.
So,
So again, it takes you back to that human relations
Human
that we
relations.
spoke about.
so it's all relations, emotions, how do we deal it in day to day life, whether it's in profession, at home. Amazing.
Wonderful. So viewers, maybe we can also take a look at Godan by Munshi Premchand, and maybe we will review the book, or maybe sometime later we will invite NK again, and of course we plan to invite a few more authors as well for a round table where we talk about their favorite books. NK, just to conclude, what are the two other books that you are currently writing which are in print or they're being edited? If you can throw some light on that.
Okay. The second one is on industrial relations. You see, there had been several incidents of violence in various industries
Yeah.
across our country.
Which was, I think, notorious in the 1970s, basically, trade unions and all
Yes.
those things.
Much, I mean, in those days, but they still keep
Continue.
on happening.
Okay.
Though at a lower scale, but there are still violences happening even in Pune.
Okay.
So I tried to, study what could be the relation. You see, why it happens that a person tends to go and beat up someone
Yeah.
to the level of taking his life, just because of something didn't went well at his workplace. So lots of people have lost their lives. You see, that is what industrial relations is. So I've tried to pen that pain and link it to change management, because if we see,
Yeah.
change is something which is not that easily welcomed
Yeah.
by
Though
anyone.
we keep on saying that cliched statement, change is always constant.
Yes. So there are challenges for people who are working into human relations and human resources,
Yeah.
right from team leader, small team leader handling say 4-5 people, to head of HR who take care of all the gamut of HR.
Sure.
So I've put forth some cases, actual cases in the form of stories,
Okay.
and then the takeaways as a change management.
So that's one book about change management from IR perspective.
Right.
And what about the other one?
Third one is my poems, a
Oh.
collection of my Hindi and Marathi poems. I started writing poems from my school days actually, and fortunately, I had that diary with me.
Oh.
So I never thought of publishing a book, but when I published my first book, then I thought, why not to publish my poems also?
Why
not? I mean, why don't they deserve being published?
Yeah, they also deserve a shout out.
Yes.
Yeah. Perfect.
So there would be about, though I have written about 200 poems, this book, third book, may have 120 or some odd numbers of poems.
Wow. Wow. So wonderful, isn't it, viewers, that someone who has been an HR head throughout his career, managing the HR function, father, a husband, finds out time to write books, and that too also very passionately writes a book on poetry as well. So I think that's what we thought this would be. Uh, we also thought that this episode is also part of our Readers Make Leaders initiative. And I'm so happy that for the first time on the Learnamytes channel, we actually have an author visiting us, someone who has actually written a book. So I think it's a great honor. So it's like it's a double engine or a double bar that meeting the SME and also a writer. So thank you so much. Since we are talking about human relations throughout this episode, I'm very happy to announce NK to you and all our viewers that today we are excited to launch one of our very heartfelt initiatives at Learnamytes, which we call as hashtag Learnamytes Cares. So we just feel that this channel is, yes, it is about gaining viewership, yes, it is about adding subscribers, but we also have this social responsibility, which you would have seen that the kind of people that we interviewed so far, so be it Soldiers Independent Rehabilitation Foundation, Mr. Yogesh and Mrs. Sumita Chithade, or be it Dr. Archana Godbole from Applied Environmental Research Foundation. So all these stalwarts, all these wonderful people were on Learnamytes. And we also thought in our own humble way, let us launch this initiative called hashtag Learnamytes Cares. So what you see here, I'm sure you would have seen in the frame in the first episode as well. You can see there is this beautiful frame. This has been made by a differently abled, gifted, or as Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi calls them as Divyang, by a child. Her name is Anshuli Mhatre, and the name of her, this organization, which you know where she makes paintings, and there's a whole lot of thing that she does which are related to arts, of course, and she does it herself. Is called Anshuli Arts. So we thought that why not, as a token of appreciation, as a token of our love, as a token of affection to our esteemed guest today, NK, let's hand over this small little frame to him. And Anshuli, if you are watching this video, then God bless you, beta. And we are going to share the number of Anshuli's mother, Mrs. Archita Mhatre, who looks after Anshuli Arts and all the work. And we would request all of you to reach out to Anshuli and Anshuli Arts, and of course go for similar kind of stuff as per your choice. There are a number of options available. We are going to provide all the links in the description box. Here is a shout out or an appeal to all those who are watching this video. In case you know someone who is currently based out of Pune, of course, if there is anyone outside of Pune, that's also fine. But those who are into doing something like this, where there's a gifted, differently abled child who is making these kind of, showpieces, candles, gift items, and all of that, please connect with us. Please write to us on learnamytes@gmail.com. I'll repeat the ID again, the email ID again. It's learnamytes@gmail.com, and we'll be more than happy to, sponsor is a very big word, but in our own humble way, we would like to gift those articles. We'll buy them from the organization, and we would like to give it as a gift to our wonderful guest like NK, and all our SMEs and all our Kuch Dil Se episodes and everyone around. So thank you so much. I think it was a very heartfelt rendezvous in this part with NK, with Nandkkishore Sharrma. And I was very happy that he was the first recipient of our new initiative, hashtag Learnamytes Cares. So thank you so much for watching this video. Request you to like and share this video as much as you can in your network. Please press the bell icon for weekly notification from Learnamytes, and do subscribe the Learnamytes channel. Thank you.